Good morning, my beautiful friends, and welcome. Always great to be with you. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope that you're in control of your day and you're feeling good and optimistic about life at this given moment. All right. Today we're going to talk about fixing your partner, right? It's what everyone wants to do. There's something wrong with them. Certainly there may be a few little things wrong with me, but there's definitely something wrong with them. We need to fix that. Everything will be great and perfect, right? That's the idea. Anyone that's lived any length of time knows that that doesn't work. So why do we always get pulled into this idea of how we're going to fix our partner? Well, I'm going to give you a few hints and maybe a reminder, if you've already figured this out for yourself, that there are ways to change the behavior of a partner that are legitimate and good and beautiful, right? And they actually work. Say your spouse sends you a text and says, "What are you doing?" Well, that could be taken many ways. It could be saying, "What are you doing, honey? I'm so curious about your life and I love you and want to hear about your day." Or it could be, "What are you doing? Why aren't you home cooking dinner for the kids?" Or it could be whatever. And depending on your mood is often how you interpret whatever it is, that text or verbal communication that's sent to you. I'm here to suggest that the way you respond to a question that could be taken many different ways will determine to a large extent what kind of spouse that you will have over time, or really what kind of relationship and what part of your spouse that you draw out. And of course, synergy comes into play. When good things happen to you, you tend to give good things back, and that's just the way we're designed. I would like to focus a minute on your response to any given stimulus, if you will, a text or a verbal request, the call of your name, or something that may even sound like an accusation. How you respond, how you set the tone will determine a large amount to what you get in return. And if, say, you're not in the greatest mood or you're under a lot of stress, you're really busy and you get the text, "What are you up to?" That could be like, "Not now, I'm really busy. Please don't text me right now." Or it could be, "Oh, I'm so stressed. I'm so glad to get this text from somebody that loves me." Or, so if you are at a point where you have frustration initially, and you hold it back and say, "Okay, I shouldn't be frustrated because this is somebody I love." So you hold it back and then you text back, "I'm doing fine," and everything's good. And then a second later they go, "What are you up to?" And also now you're annoyed a little bit more and you hold back a little bit more and say, "Well, I'm up to work," so you get a little snitty there. And then, "But I love you." And then they give you another one and you're like, "Oh, this is driving me crazy," right? Self-control is a very poor substitute for honesty. When you get the text and it says, "What are you up to?" be honest with yourself. What are you up to? Respond that way. If you're too busy and can't talk right that minute, and say, "Hey, sweetheart, I'm really busy, stressed. Can I text you back when I have a break here in a few hours? I love you so much. Bye." They may get offended at that, but at least they get the honest truth. And your frustration will be dispersed, for at least about that, for the meantime. So what I'm espousing here is that honesty is the best policy if you can do it. You need to be honest, not cruelly honest, but honest as much as possible. The more we try to use self-control, the less likely we are to get the results that we want. We're told all our life that you need self-control to lose weight, you need self-control to be successful, you need to be self-control to build big muscles, and you need all these different things. And it's a little bit of a hooey, right? I mean, yeah, self-control is important, but humans, generally speaking, don't have very much. And it only lasts for a short period of time to get us over a hump. Like there are times where I think we need self-control. It's obvious. We get tempted for something that we know is not going to be good for us, so we have self-control. But even in those moments, acknowledging that I am tempted at this moment by something that may or may not be good for me in the long run, and likely is not. We deflate the tension that's behind the temptation. When you're talking to your spouse, or when a friend says something that could offend you, "You look fat in that dress," or whatever, and that's a clear thing that you could easily get mad at, and you can go, say to yourself and go, "Yeah, I may look a little fat in that dress, but I like the color, and I may or may not wear it again." And they were being honest, and hopefully they weren't being honest and cruel. They were being honest and to try to help you, or whatever the reason. One of the realities in life is that you can't fix somebody else. Governments and all kinds of people, religious groups, and all this stuff, often with good intention, try to fix other people. And the truth is that you can't fix somebody else. You can help somebody else in many different ways, maybe get to a conclusion, but at some point they have to reach that conclusion and say, with honesty, this is where I am. I am too skinny and I need to eat more food, or I'm weak, I can't bend down and pick up a pencil, so I better start getting up every morning and doing a few stretches and a little bit of exercise just so I can pick up a pencil off the floor and not have to groan if one falls on the floor. We have to be honest with ourselves, and the more honest we are with reality, the more chance we have of getting to where it is we want to go. One thing that I've adopted lately, and it seems to be working well, and I have been doing it for a long time, so it is what it is, but when somebody does something to bother me, or I'm not sure what their intention is, and I proceed what I'm going to say to them by saying, I'm going to be fully honest with you. We used to say I'm going to be open with you, and there's another term I can't remember, but I'm going to be fully honest with you as I can, nicely honest within reason. That statement triggered me, and I'm unhappy, and I would like to find a resolution to that. And I know you're not going to say it so mechanically like that, but to let them know honestly where you are, to give them a chance to be honest back. At first, they may not know what to do with that, because people are often not honest in oh no, you don't look fat in that dress at all, or you have a nose hair hanging out and nobody says anything to you, or a piece of chocolate on your shirt and nobody says anything to you, because we don't want to offend, we don't want to, it's just not worth it. And honesty is definitely the best policy in most circumstances. When it comes to our loved ones, our spouses, our friends, loving honesty, not brutal honesty, because I know people that are very honest all the time and is brutally honest, and it's very unpleasant to be with them, but at times, but be reasonably honest and wait for that input. If you know every time your spouse, your friend, your son, your daughter are being honest with you when they communicate with you, you can take that to heart and know that they're not trying to get you. If you're going to be fully honest with your partner or your friend or daughter, whatever, that one of the things it does is it exposes you. Often people will stay in bad relationships because they're afraid they can't find anything any better, or they don't want to lose the little bit of good that they have. And when you become fully honest, or more fully honest, you run the risk of saying, I really don't like this about you. Well, that's the way I am, I'm not going to change. When you get to that level of honesty, then you have to make this decision, do I really want to be with this person that's not going to change something for me? We don't change a lot of things for other people. We can change a few habits, we can do a few things, but generally we stay who we are. Or in the case that, you want something to change in the partner's life, to be neater, to be cleaner, whatever it is, and they say, well, I will work on that and give me some time to do it, then that's a great thing, and that will change your partner for good. So going back to this honesty, this openness, glasnost, to where we know where the other person stands all the time, is a great leap towards getting closer. You would think that not offending somebody and not challenging somebody would make you closer, but over time it's like, it's not. The more we get to know somebody, the deeper the connection is. I was talking to my son the other day, and I started talking about this before the battery went dead, that beings crave connection. We need connection to feel validated, feel good about ourselves, and we love connection, we love validation, and all those things. One of the worst feelings is when you reach out to somebody and you feel a connection, they draw away. I said, well, James, you put up your hand, like this. And he put up his hand, and I started putting my hand towards his, and I said, it is really nice to connect to people. And then I went like this. In that simple physical motion, you could see his countenance drop, and he really felt like, it's the old joke where you go to high five somebody, you move it, and it's really funny. It's actually not very funny, because what you're doing is you were connecting with that person at that second, then you took it away. It's immaturely funny maybe, but it is a good example of what it is to lose connection. So that deep fear can keep you from being honest with your partner. But I can tell you that if you find out that it's the kind of person that draws away because of something like that, in the long run you'll be better off knowing that. You will become either more distant and find a better way, or realize that you're not suited for each other, or you'll find somebody else that wants to live a similar lifestyle, and that would be more of a match for you. Bearing all this in mind, being fully honest is the best way to change your partner. Fully honest in love, you're being fully honest, not cruelly honest, fully honest, and you give and take to where you start to really understand each other, and this synergistic relationship exists where you believe your partner when they say you need to change the dress, you probably need to change the dress, or whatever it is. You know, the habit is not good, you need to check it out, or you need to go have therapy for a while because I think you have some anger issues, or whatever it is. You will draw closer and closer and closer, and you will pull out of that person the mate or the partner or the son, the daughter that you want. So let's be fully honest today as you can within reason. I always tell my girlfriend that I'm always going to be 98% honest with you, because there's a little bit that I think is good to hold back. At least that's where I am right now. Anyway, all the love, all the power. Have an amazing day. Look forward to seeing you back here again. Bye.